what's your favorite way to show affection and keep the spark alive?
Ooh, a little spicy.
Spicy.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight, we have a special treat for you. I'm here with Matt and Sarah, a couple with a truly remarkable love story that spans decades. They met in their early teens, went their separate ways, and found each other again after many years apart. Tonight, we're going to delve into their journey, share some laughs, and get to know them better. So, let's get started with our fun interview. Sarah, what's one thing about your relationship with Matt that makes you feel most loved and appreciated?
Oh, this is getting so deep on the first one. Oh my gosh. Matt is just so caring. It sounds really like...
Guys, I'm going to turn red. I feel like I'm just turning red.
He tells me all the time, like, how beautiful I am, how much he loves me. I just feel truly cherished, which I've never felt before.
I do cherish her. Like, our story goes way back, and I'll be happy to elaborate, but just in case it comes up in further questions, maybe I'll wait.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get there. With all these questions, because the first one was so intense.
Yeah, she's coming out strong.
Matt, what's one lesson you've learned from your past that has strengthened your relationship with Sarah?
Oh, God. Oh, God.
I feel like we needed these ahead of time.
No, it's good that we didn't have them.
Like interview questions we need ahead of time.
This is actually not as hard. This is actually not as hard. Communication. Because I think you and I both know what, in our past, like what bad communication will lead to. Just having that open line of communication, like you have an open floor to do the same, and like hearing you out and understanding your boundaries. It's a two-way street. And I think, like she said, what did I learn from my past? And I think that's, like, looking back, I think that's like the biggest thing that's different with us. And our communication has been so good. Like, we just if there's an issue lately, like not even lately, like since the beginning of us coming back together, because guys, we're actually on our second, we were together in high school.
And then there was almost a 20-year gap.
Yeah. So obviously in high school, a high school kid doesn't know jack about communication.
No, our communication was probably crap.
Yeah.
Then.
Like
we
notebook.
communicated.
It was probably like in a notebook.
As good as a 17-year-old would.
Or a note or something.
A note.
A note. AOL.
That you folded.
Yeah. Communication's not good. It's been the biggest downfall of any relationship. And I think we're coming into this so like beefy. This is the most beefiest relationship because our communication is so strong.
Yes.
Ugh.
I agree.
So that's my answer.
Can you both share how you first met and what your first impressions of each other were?
We first met in middle school.
Typing class. It said when we first met, not when we first...
Right, so typing class in 7th grade.
But we didn't really like talk. She probably just knew me as the kid that gave his whole presentation that year on Michael Jackson.
Yes. And you wore a yellow coat.
Yeah, yeah.
That yellow
coat. It's hard to like forget a yellow coat. And it was bright yellow. Like neon yellow. Like I bet it glowed in the dark. But
so that was where we met. But then in 8th grade, we had math class together and PE.
And then I saw what she must have, I don't want to say that.
What, my gym shorts?
But now I have to. Oh my God, I wasn't even going to mention your gym shorts. What?
Sorry, Mom, if you're watching.
I wasn't even going to mention that. I was going to say like, you matured over that summer.
And that was, I mean, any girls and guys watching that had to like change your clothes for gym, like the girls, we totally like folded them over to make them shorter, even though we weren't supposed to.
We didn't notice at all.
Not at all.
We didn't notice.
No.
Us guys, we didn't notice the shorter shorts than the shorts that were already shorter than the shortest shorts.
No. I wonder if they still have to do that now.
But that's not, hold on, that's
Anyway.
not a very good way to present that answer. Because
No.
in all reality, it had nothing to do with the short shorts, nothing to do with like maturity. It had everything to do with my view of her from my chair. So guys, I sat on the opposite side of the room of her in math class. And I tried for half the year, I tried to get a seat by her, but there was no seats open. And there was this kid named James, James, who had the seat right behind her. And I knew that y'all had like a little thing. Like
We didn't
y'all
have
talked.
a thing. I think I had a crush on him. I don't think he ever did on me.
So my mission was to like, get him out! Get him out of there! Somehow. And to my luck, he was gone or moved or something. That seat became open. And I told Miss Maitland, I was like, I think I will focus better. I think I'll be able to focus better if I move over here.
I'll be able to focus better, Miss Maitland, if I sit by Sarah.
Half the year, I just
Not.
would like stare at her across the room. And then I got to sit behind her. And that's when I started to like talk to her and try and be funny. Like I was kind of like the funny guy.
Yes.
And
You were like the class clown.
so I like tried to make her laugh.
Yeah.
And then I kind of
It
like
worked.
devised a scheme to ask her out because like I had a bunch of little girlfriends in middle school, but it was always like, oh, we sit next to each other at lunch and
Right.
we put notes in each other's locker but nothing ever outside of school. But I knew immediately she was like different and that like I wanted like something real, even in 8th grade. So I devised this scheme because I was like, I can't ask her to be my girlfriend at school because then it would just be like any other little it would just be like any other little middle school. So we had a mutual friend, I'm not going to say her name, but we had a mutual friend who went to my church and I was part of the youth group. And I got with her and I was like, you should invite her to youth group so that I can ask her out there. But I was always kind of a little troublemaker and I couldn't really do much outside of school or church at this time. So my only way of making this work, grounded, I had to make this work. So I got our mutual friend to invite her to church. And I remember thinking I had the most awesome pickup line in my head. And I remember it to this day. But in my head, as a 8th grader, I was like, yeah, this is it. She ain't gonna be able to resist this. So I remember we're sitting like watching some sort of
Yeah, we were like
presentation. Sitting on the ground.
Yeah.
And we're like sitting, and I remember her hand was like right here, kind of like on the ground, and I kind of went like this, and I
It
was
was
like
the movies.
and I was kind of like, so there's this girl that I kind of like, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to ask her to be my girlfriend. And she was like, oh, okay, like maybe you should just ask her. And so I was like, okay, maybe I will do that. Will you be my girlfriend? That's what I said. I was talking about her, y'all, in case y'all didn't know.
And I said, yes.
And then we were to get together from 8th grade to senior year.
Sarah, what's a quirky habit or trait of Matt's that you've come to love?
I'm gonna turn red again, probably.
A quirky trait of Matt's. He has so many.
Well, I don't know if that's good or bad.
I feel like I have way more quirky traits. I guess that's what I would say. That you can be spontaneous, but you have to plan for spontaneity.
But you love that about me? I feel like you don't. I like to live
It's
on
just
a
like
schedule.
something that I've noticed and I've come to live with and like.
This doesn't sound like a quirk that you become to love about me. It sounds like because she literally said, I've come to live with it. That is not,
to live with it.
This is like the opposite answer she's looking for.
No, but I'm trying to think of another, like.
I'll answer this for me. Okay? With like,
Maybe that'll
it's
help
everything.
me like think of a better one.
Okay. So yes, she's very particular, right? And sometimes it annoys the crap out of me, but sometimes I love it because she knows what she wants. You know what I mean? She wants some things done a certain way, and I can respect it because I like things done a certain way. We have different opinions on like how particular we are. Like she's very particular about things that are dumb, and I'm very particular about things that are not dumb.
Excuse me.
So,
would you care to elaborate?
She's very particular on how the dishwasher should be loaded. Very particular on how
I
the
feel like
washing
that
machine
is
should be loaded.
That's a classic couple argument.
But she's willing to go to war over it. And I'm just like,
no, that's not true.
so we run the dishes again. Big deal. But I'm particular about like, if we say we're going to be somewhere on a certain time, that we're there on that time.
And we are.
And we are. But that's like communication. Because
With
we've
children
had, so you know,
involved.
we've had many conversations about this, and we're very much like in tune with each other. Like I know what to expect, and she knows I know what to expect from her. She knows what to expect from me.
I was trying to think of another quirky thing about you. And early on, I realized, and I told you this, about when you drive somewhere, you like to take the route that you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though
There could be a better route.
there could be a better way. And I'm like, you know, you could turn here and go that way.
And I'm like, yeah, I could.
Yeah.
As we drive right on pass it. I'm like, yeah, I could have. I could have gone that way. But we can go this way too. That's what I'm saying. Not a big deal. Not a big deal.
It's not.
Matt, can you tell us about the funniest or most memorable date you and Sarah have ever had?
So I rented an igloo, like a private little igloo thing on the top of a building in Richmond that overlooked all the like Christmas lights.
Yeah, it was like a rooftop bar, but during the winter they have these little igloo things that you can rent.
And the reason
But
it
I
stands
didn't know
out,
about it. It was a surprise.
yeah, I didn't tell her where we were going. She kind of put it together as we got closer. The reason this date stands out to me is because it reminded me, because we're talking earlier about how I like things to be planned and go the way to plan. Go to plan.
Yes.
I kind of get anxious when things start falling like out of order. I don't like chaos is disturbing to me. I like to know and know what to expect and everything.
Yeah.
This date was not like that. And it reminded me of how sometimes you can just let the chips fall where they may. So let me explain. We got up there and it was beautiful and it was elegant and it was pretty, but the service was bad. I'm sorry, but the service was bad.
Because she was great, the waitress, but they were slammed. They did not have enough people to work the area for how many people were there.
I rented the igloo for 2 hours and we were supposed to spend like a certain amount. I don't want to say the amount, but it was over $200. We were supposed to spend over $200 as a requirement to rent the igloo. And I came fully prepared to do that. The problem was our server did not come often enough for me to order that much.
Right.
So she waived it, which we didn't have to. She understood that like we were here for 2 hours. We saw you twice. And then like some other people came by, but we couldn't order from them. So we ordered like 2 drinks and an appetizer. We didn't even get to order our meal. We didn't get any more drinks. We Ubered, so we were prepared to have more than 2 drinks. And then we had to leave when our 2 hours was up and we didn't even get to do everything. But then she had the bright idea. She was like, hey, I know this cool place. It's walking distance. Why don't we go over there and have a few drinks there? And then we can have dinner. And we go over there, and I've never been there before. Turns out that she actually has family history in the place way back when.
Yes, that's true.
I didn't even know that until we got there and we started
It's this
talking.
cool restaurant downtown.
You can say what it's called.
Terrence.
Okay.
The bar, and we sat at the bar, and we had the best time.
Yeah, we did. We had a blast. And so I think it was like, that stands out to me because it was like just perfect. It was perfect in its imperfection. Nothing went as planned, and we still had a good time. We're just
and it was just so cozy because it was cold outside.
Yeah, this was like dead of winter.
Yeah, it was just so...
Oh, and your shoe fell apart.
Oh yeah. Like the sole of my shoe was coming.
That adds to the imperfection.
Yeah.
Like now that's like memorable that your shoe fell apart. And
like it sounded like a horse. Like one of the shoes was like clip clop, clip clop, clip clop.
Yeah.
If you could travel anywhere in the world right now, where would you go and what would you do?
It's weird. I have places that I'd want to go with you, like specifically, but then I'd have places like that I just want to go. Like I always wanted to go to Cairo and see the pyramids.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I'd want you to go with me, but I wouldn't choose
go.
that if it was gonna like, I wouldn't choose that as like a romantic getaway or nothing.
No, that's like a bucket list.
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is I'd want you to take me to Germany and show me around. Guys, she used to live in Germany.
Yes.
And
for 4 years we did.
And I've been learning German for the last
when I was
year.
12. Yes, I would love that. I would also love to go to Ireland and Scotland and just see the like foggy cliffs and sit in pubs and I don't know, just get to know like that culture.
I just want to go where she wants to go. Wherever she wants to go, I'll go. If you're a bird, I'm a bird.
Ow. That's what I said at the beginning, you guys. See, he's the cutest. I feel cherished.
What's one hobby or interest each of you has that the other person doesn't share?
That's easy for me. This.
Yeah.
Video editing, video creation, filmmaking. Now, I won't say art because we do share that. Well, we bonded over our love for art. Like, you know, we had that whole cute story of how we met in middle school, but really our love kind of flourished in high school. We had art, and we took like sort of an advanced art class together
for all those years.
Yeah. So I would say like video editing and like social media kind of dealio. But what do you do that I don't? What are you into that I'm not into?
What am I into?
Bridgerton. No, I'm just kidding.
I did start watching Bridgerton. It's not that old of a show, but I just started watching it, season 1, and without Matt, because he's like, I know it sounds lame. I don't have like time for a ton of hobby stuff, but I like to read.
I like to read too, though.
Yeah.
Ha!
I was gonna say art or like craft things, but we kind of do that together. We're besties.
No,
so we do everything together.
We're besties. Yes, girl. No, I could say something. You like doing like mood boards and stuff, like on
boards,
like on Pinterest and like
kind of
like doing like collective like idea scaping and stuff.
Or like house project decorating.
Yeah, there you go.
I love that.
Sarah, what's something you've always wanted to ask Matt but never have?
Keep it PG, okay? People are watching.
What's something I've always wanted to ask you but I never have? I don't know.
Can you take the trash to the curb every Monday so they can be picked up on Tuesday?
Well, yeah. You need to do that. I'm just kidding. No.
Triggered.
Share that. I feel like maybe I know the answer to this. If you could buy any car, what would you buy?
Any car?
Mm-hmm. We saw one of the new Tesla
Cybertrucks, but if I could buy any car,
Cybertrucks today.
I would buy the DeLorean, but not just any DeLorean, the Time Machine DeLorean from the 1980s movie Back to the Future. And then I would break down all the time because DeLoreans are incredibly unreliable. Is that what you thought I was going to say? Or are you going to say I was going to say a truck?
I thought you were going to say a Mustang.
Yeah, but if I did a Mustang, it would be a 1967 Shelby GT500 Ford Mustang.
Okay.
Very specific. If it was going to be a Mustang.
What's a song or movie that you think perfectly describes your relationship?
Well, I think we have both. We have a song and a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're on the same page here. You want to tell the movie and I'll tell the song?
And see if we're thinking of the same thing.
Yeah.
The Notebook?
Yeah. And I know it's corny and cheesy and everyone would want to...
Yes, it is.
Would want to think that was their movie, but for us, it kind of makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, only because they were getting older and they went apart for a while.
And then they got back together.
And then
they were together when they were young.
Yeah.
And dumb and babies.
But cute and in love.
And cute and in love.
It is a great movie.
But then they both went on and they were in other relationships.
Yes. Had totally separate lives for a while.
And then came back to each other. And that's like a little bit more like right on the money. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I am like, what do you want? What do you want?
And I'm like, it's not that simple.
What do you want? God, what do you want? So we did this thing when we the night that I actually asked her if we could be like a thing again a second time. We each picked a song for each other.
To express how we were feeling.
I picked a song by the Beatles.
Oh.
You know, something in the way she moves distracts me like no other lover. Y'all didn't know I was gonna serenade y'all. After she played her song, I was like, no, this is the song, her song. So she picked 1,000 Years from the... I know this is kind of corny again, but who cares? Yes. It's a love story.
Yes, it is.
Love stories are corny and mushy. She picked 1,000 Years from the Twilight soundtrack.
What's your favorite way to show affection and keep the spark alive?
Ooh, a little spicy.
Spicy.
How do we keep the spark alive, babe? What's your favorite way?
Oh, my. Woo.
It's getting a little hot in here. Woo.
Well, I know one of your love languages is definitely physical touch. Don't be weird. So just like when we're in the car.
I love them car touches, man.
That sounded weird.
I love being touched at 65 miles an hour. I was gonna say the same. Like just like the subtle
things.
Like subtle you know, to put your hair behind your ear or like.
Yeah. Which is funny because my family knows I hated my hair being touched.
So I think we're kind of on the same page then. Just like subtle out of nowhere. It's like it's really special when it's like just comes out of nowhere, you know? Yeah. I love like if I'm just like cooking breakfast for you and the boys and you just like casually walk by and do something.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt and Sarah, for sharing your story and insights with us tonight. We've loved hearing about your journey and look forward to seeing where your love story takes you next. Stay tuned, everyone, for more content and make sure to leave your questions and comments below.